Yeah, hi traders, GJ here. Welcome to the week ahead. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way and we'll try and find this document. Here we go. This video is only for educational purposes. It expresses my own personal opinions and does not offer financial advice. By watching this video, you agree not to hold the distributors of this video responsible for any of the ideas and opinions expressed. Trading in the currency market is high risk, and because of the high leverage that is used in trading, you can stand to lose some or all of your money. If you have any doubt about trading in the currency market or feel you need investment advice, then you need to go to a qualified registered financial advisor before any investment is made. Right, let's get into it. I want to go to the calendar. It's fairly light today, obviously. There's a lot of medium, low, a lot of low impacting medium, and I think it's just going to be more of the same. And I'm not sure if you guys have noticed or not, but this economic data isn't having the same impact as it used to before COVID, or even a couple of years ago with the peers that they used to. I think it's more about geopolitical stuff that's going on at the moment. Seems to be moving the market more than anything else. Now, the cash rate, for example, in Australia is tomorrow, and it's predicted to stay the same. So in the event of the Reserve Bank of Australia coming out and maybe going, oh no, we've decided to have a zero cash rate, that would have an impact. But I think it's just going to be business as usual. But we do need to be aware of when these are coming out, so you can keep an eye on it. Lagarde speaks an awful lot this week, 3 times. Not really before the European Parliament, but she can tend to move the market a little bit like Draghi used to. But again, I think the whole world's just marking time. Got to see what the elections bring in the States. That's less than 30 days. We've got elections here in less than 13 days. Brexit's supposedly, Britain's still going on the 15th of October. So we will see how it all plays out. End of the week, of course, is the Canadian employment change and unemployment rate. So we do need to be aware of these, but I think it's the geopolitical events that are causing more market volatility than anything else at the moment. But then that's only my opinion. So having said all that, let's get into the charts. First one I want to take a look at, obviously, is the US dollar index. And look at this. Bit of a fruit salad there, isn't it? Okay. Well, we managed to get up here toward the end of last week, and then, the week before last. And last week we were up here when we started off, and we've ended up back down into this range again. So I'm just keeping an eye on this. I don't think we're going to get any direction with the US dollar till after the elections. And I think that market sentiment will play a big part in to where it goes from here. Of course, there are always what I call the suddenlies, and any unexpected announcement regarding economy or quantitative easing or support of the economy from the Fed is obviously going to have an impact in here. But of course, as long as this stays under here, I just think it's going to be business as usual with a lot of the peers. Don't hold your breath. I'm not being a pessimist, but I'm just being practical. We need to really wait for the trades to come to us. And when they're there, and when they're not, they're not. And it's crazy to make something out of nothing. So let's go to the Aussie CAD first. I'll try and be quick and precise as I can. Right now, here's the state of the play on the Aussie CAD. We've been in a massive big uptrend till around August, and then we've got these tops here. It wasn't able to get up above them. We had this nice move down here a couple of weeks ago, which we all enjoyed, and of course we've had a pullback. Now look at this, it's been a deep pullback. Looks as if it's turned here. This could just hold in the sideways movement between even this area here and here, and not do anything. I'm looking for it to take out the low, break this area here if we're going to get a decent move south. And the big picture, of course, is that the range could be seen between somewhere here and up in here. That's the big range, here to here, and then you've got these little pockets of support and resistance, and how strong they are. This one looks fairly strong, so keep an eye on it. Nothing there. Aussie Swiss looks like it's going to move down. As long as it holds below the 66 area, I think this is looking bearish. But again, I'm not really interested in trading this because it's still locked up in this range, and this range isn't that big. And this is where traders get beaten up. That range is only 100 pips. A lot of traders try to trade these things on smaller time frames using all sorts of weird and wonderful ideas, and you just chip away at your account. I don't know a lot of scalpers that are really successful. So I'm staying on the sidelines. Aussie JPY, you can see here that we had what looked like a decent move up, doesn't it? And you can see how it's kind of just petered out. See how these candles here were much bigger, much stronger, more confident, and then it's kind of just trickled up here, and it looks as if we may have topped out. These areas here, there's a key area right there, and as long as this area holds, I would be expecting more bearishness in this pair. And for me, I'm looking at dabbing my toe in, possibly if I get a break of these candles here tomorrow, if we finish up down in here. And actually looking at that, I will not be getting in there because I don't think there's enough room in here. 66 pips, yeah, I could be tempted, but I'll only get into the small lot size and look. If I get it close below 74 here, I would stack it up then and look for a move south, retesting first 73, which is around about 100 pips, and then after you break out at 73, if you do, well then it opens up a really big space once you get down here. Once you break this, it's open territory way down here, so just keep an eye on it. The market will tell you what's going to happen. Again, Aussie New Zealand is looking bearish. We'll have to wait and see. I'm looking for this to be taken out. You can see it here. It's made lower highs so far. It hasn't broken to get above the top side of that trend line. This is the next low that has to be taken out. And you can see that in here is a decent kind of resistance or support area here. And I think once we've got past here, then it would suggest to me that we could be going lower. Right now, if I take this trade, it would only be a little scalp into here, and I would only be using a little lot size. It's 49, but no, I'm not even touching it. I'm going to wait for a break here. Aussie USD, again, it looks, it's a tricky one, you know. There's a lot of people that have been holding trades that are in deep doo-doo at the moment. Well, I call it deep doo-doo. Just believing that this is going south, and we haven't had a reversal yet. I'm hoping this goes south. I think fundamentally this could go south. You can see the strong uptrend that we've had here from back in April, earlier in the year, and we're at this critical area again. Now, for me to get in, I really want to see a break of 71. I think that's important. Providing price stays above 71, this thing could go and retest up here. But eventually it's going to move. So it's just a matter of being patient. Don't be impatient. And for me, in my mind, after this run up here, I'm looking for bearish movement down in, down into here. Just change that down there. That looks pretty interesting area too. So this is key, this area here. And if we get a break above this up here, we could see it, like I said, retest. So I'm not too quick to get in right now, and I need the market to just give me a little bit of confirmation and a higher probability that maybe we are going lower. And for me, it has to be a break of this area of, like I said, 71. And there's nothing here that interests me on the CAD crosses at all. Two neutral currencies. I'm not really trying to battle it out here. Here's my line in the sand. I've got alarms set, and alarm goes off, I'll take a look at it. But right now, for me, there's not too much excitement. Same with the CAD JPY. We're just not getting the traction, and you can see it's been a messy year for this pair. So for me, it's more about getting a move off here and see all this indecision along here, for example, and then this poke up. Now, what's it going to do? Is this level going to hold in here, and are we getting the bounce? That's the $64,000 question. If you get a bounce up here, I've got an alarm sitting up here, but I'm not holding my breath, and I may or may not attempt to trade it back in there. I just think there's better trades. So Euro AUD, we talked about this last week. We didn't eventuate the week before getting a move up here. Decided to come back down in here last week, and it looks like it just may do some sort of a retest. But bear in mind, look at the price structure. Don't be fooled. This price structure in here could hold up, and we could get a bounce off this area, and that could be wave one, and then the pullback, and then a move up there. So just keep an eye on it, play it safe. Nothing on the Euro CAD at the moment. It's of real interest. Lots of indecision. Still staying the top side of this trend line. No trade. Euro Swissies, no trade for me. Locked in this range. I'm not touching it unless it breaks out of this range. Euro pound, I was looking last week, but it didn't eventuate, so I'm still looking for a break above here. This could be a possibility, but again, be very careful with the pound pairs. It's only 10 days to go, and the UK leave the Euro sector. There's going to be some volatility around, so I'm not really interested over the next couple of weeks in getting into any long-term trades on the pound. I will around the Frankfurt and London impulse moves if I feel like trading it that way. You can. I think the euro is going to be volatile too, but coming back to the euro pound, I'm more inclined to think that we could get a bounce off here in the short term anyway, and maybe see this go higher. Euro JPY. Nothing here for me. I've got that trend line's been broken, and look, here's the classic. This is where there was an entry, but look, it didn't go. It just went up. We talked about this, that this area around 124 is really key, and look, it just pulled up. There wasn't a lot of pips in it. It was 102. Makes trading very hard. I'm interested in the bigger moves, 200-300 pips. and there's not a lot of those around at the moment. We've had the sideways movement, and the question for me is this going to bottom out here and then make a move and retest this? And its attempts to retest it hasn't taken out this high. I think that maybe we could get a retest of this bottom here. So for me, there's just no trade here until we get a break below here, or I really would want this level here to hold at 125 before I was interested in taking a bounce north. Euro ZD, I do like this here. That was that little pennant we noticed a few weeks ago, and look, it did break out of it, and I think that this is the target. There's no current trade here for me at the moment. I want to see if this is going to be a bottom and whether we get a bounce off here. Euro USD, I am still holding a trade, third position on the Euro USD South, and again, if we take a long view of it, here's the move up here, and we've just gone a lot of sideways stuff since July, and we've popped up here, haven't been able to get going, and this smells that this is kind of the top. Now, depending on whether this level holds or not, this could just go sideways for a number of weeks, no question about it. And so a break below here wouldn't have me adding to my trade. I would add to it below here. So this here is the key level. I would want to see it start to take this lower, and then I'd be interested in adding it and retesting maybe 140 down here. There's 200 pips in it. Okay, pound pairs, we've already spoken about them. I'm going to leave them. There's nothing here so far today, and I will leave it to the Frankfurt Open and London Candles. If I see any potential, I will log on and check it out, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm going to play this very cautiously over the next few weeks. We can see that we're in a range here on the pound Aussie, and we'll just wait to see what happens. All the pairs, the pound pairs, are the same. In these ranges, pound Swissies starting to get range bound by the look of it. I was hopeful for a decent move up here, but it's just petered out. Look, it came back to the retest, it tried to lift off on Friday, hasn't done that, so I'm more inclined to think that price is going to end up going sideways here. And if we get into a range between here and here, so just be careful with it. And there's no use trying to make a trade out of nothing. And I think it's just common sense, support and resistance areas for me, and being patient right now. It's a very difficult time to trade, but there are opportunities. If you have a good setup and a good strategy, you can still make a little bit of cash, and if you practice good money management. So here's key areas here and here. Look, they're all the same. Pound ZD, the same. Looks like we're going to start to range a bit in here. There's always the potential of an impulse move in the Frankfurt London Open. This is the pound USD, and again, not holding my breath. Here it is stuck in this range. This range here is not a lot of pips. It's nearly 200. So getting a bounce from here, and 200's my range criteria. Over 200, I'm quite happy to try to trade top to bottom. Now, with the Frankfurt London Opens and the impulse moves, that's a little different again. There's nothing happening on the New Zealand CAD. Looks, it's just crunching up. It looks like a spring waiting to curl, and then it's going to break out again. You can see, look at it, it's making lower highs last week. Let's see if it makes lower, continues to do unwind there, because it'll unwind and break out. I'd be very careful of a break to the upside, because you've got a key resistance here. A break to the downside, I'd be more comfortable in having a shot at that. Depend, especially with the strength indicator giving me good divergence between weakness and strength. So here we have New Zealand Swiss. There's nothing here, no trade for me. I'm keeping out of it. It looks like it could be just a lot of range bound stuff again. New Zealand USD. Here we go. Here's where I want to get in. And we've got this beautiful double top here. We've had this move up. Let's just put a perspective on it. We've had this really strong move up from here, and no doubt it was trending up during this time. But now we've got a top. Here's a beautiful double top here, and it's not. And as long as this level here holds, I tend to think that this pair is going to be bearish, but I'm not going to just keep taking trades. I'm going to wait for a break of this key area here, and I'll only get in small here because I think that this area in here is the key one at around 65. A break below 65, and I'm really interested in getting in an unusual lot size. There's nothing here on the USD caddy. Not a waste a lot of time. We're at this key level again. At this key level here of 134. Wasn't able to break it. It's come back, and you could argue that it's a retest, and it could well be. I just think we're going to get more sideways movement until after the elections. USD Swissy again wasn't able to carry on. It's had this first move up. This was a good bottom in here, and I do sling off with patterns because I know that they're not reliable enough to actually base your trading style off it. It's a foundation, but I am aware of them. And look at this. Here's a teapot. Comes up here and down. There's the handle. And that one there is not a very good one, is it? Let's go out of there. We'll go out of there again. Okay. So let's see if I can draw this. This should be to the upside. That's what we're taught with these patterns. Here's the teapot there. Now this should bounce off and go up. Boom, boom, an upside teapot would be bearish. That's my understanding. So, for me, I'm not going to hold my breath because this, again, I think the whole market's waiting till after the elections. Patterns and things just confirm my foundational way of trading, which is fundamental support resistance. Right. USD JPY. Here we go. Whoopsie. We've not really been able to break this trend line anymore. Boom. Look at it. I think if this trend line holds and this level of 105, which is a little lower, it's just in around here. In fact, we'll move it for you. I think 105 is the key area. Just in here. And I'm prepared to wait. Providing this trend line keeps holding and we come down here and we get a break of this, I will be sticking in for a move sell. Right, let's do the metals quickly. Not a lot of movement here. Now, I was starting to get a little bit excited. I did have a pending order up here, but it didn't go very far. A few nickels and dimes. 1900, this one here just is a real key. And again, a break of this 1920 looks to me to be fairly strong resistance. There was a strong support. You can see where price held above that. And the question I've got is this going to be strong resistance? So I'm not keen to chase this. Not going to chase it. I would get very interested today if this moves up and takes 1900 again. And look, it's a very low risk reward ratio. So on a smaller time frame, like a 4 hour or 1 hour, if you get a break at this level, you're still risking 185 points. So you need to put your lot sizes down if you're going to have an attempt with this. But I don't like it. I'm going to be patient and wait for a break of this area here and see if we can get a bounce off. Gold, silver is very similar. Look, it just looks, this is where I'm interested in trying to get in on the silver thing again. I am very keen. But I'm just going to be patient. I can't manufacture trades and I'm not going to try. So that's how I'm seeing the market for the week. If it warrants it, I will do some morning reports this week if I see some setups after the daily candle change. Other than that, I'm just going to be patient. I will have a look at Frankfurt, London, not necessarily every night of the week this week, but I am, if I get an opportunity to trade it, my wife's going out on Wednesday night with the girls to a movie, so I'll get a chance to trade Wednesday night. We have visitors tonight, so I probably won't get a chance to look at the market. And that's all good. Trading has to fit around me. And we're in a very low, volatile time at the moment. I think leading up to the elections, I don't expect too much volatility, so I'm prepared to wait. It's these big moves that I want. This is where you make the money. Now this is silver. This is your breakout. See this? You break out here. This is the big money. Gold. This is the big money. And then you just sit and you wait. A lot of traders got beaten in up here. And they thought, oh, it's going again. But they got greedy. They held on to it, didn't have stop losses in, and they just shocking stuff. It's not how you trade. So please stay safe out there. Keep your hygiene up. Keep your care. Be vigilant. In regards to your trading, please protect your capital. Don't chase the market. Make sure that you're trading well within your comfortable risk-reward ratio zones. If it's 2% of your capital, that's great. 3%, whatever you decide. I'd start to get a bit nervous if you went over 3%. For me, that I trade very, very low, and then once the profits are locked in, it gives me the freedom to go trade another position again. So please be careful out there. Take your profit when it's there. Don't chase the market. Look after your capital. Practice good money management, and you'll be fine. And when there are the little moves, you'll be able to make the most of it. We'll see you in the chat. Cheers.